GTA math, what is up? So just to get started, we do have an implicit differentiation problem. So there's a couple steps to this, and just to get started, let's identify what we're going to be taking the derivative of implicitly. So here we have x to the 8th, standard derivative, 20x, standard derivative, 17. When we get here, something happens. Not only do we have two different variables, but we now have a situation where we have a product rule as well. So over here, I'm going to write our u term. Our u term is going to be 4x because we're doing the product rule. Our v term is going to be y. So that means the derivative of v, well, the derivative of y, we're just going to put as y prime. And then if we take the derivative of 4x, we're going to just be left with 4. So whenever you do the product rule, it's u v prime plus v u prime. So we have our u, which is 4x. We're going to be multiplying that by y prime plus our v, which is y, and then our u prime, which is 4. We simplify this, we end up with 4x y prime plus 4y. This is going to be the derivative of what we circled earlier as implicit. So now I'm going to rewrite this problem. So when we take the derivative of x to the 8th, we end up with 8x to the 7th. We're going to plug in this, what we just took the derivative of implicitly. We're going to be left with 4x y prime plus 4y. The derivative of 20x is going to just be plus 20 equals 0. I'm going to underline the implicit derivative we took, just so that way it's noticeable. Whenever we're solving implicitly, since we found out, well, we didn't find out, but I didn't write it down, which is my fault. But we're looking for this in terms of dy over dx. So we're going to actually be looking for what y prime equals. So we're going to try to get everything on one side and get y prime on its own side. So we're going to take this and subtract it. We're going to take this positive 4y and subtract it. And we're also going to subtract this 20. So we're going to be left with 4x y prime equals negative 8x to the 7 minus 4y minus 20. And we did say already we were looking for y prime, which is this. So we're going to actually divide this 4x by the remainder of this. So then we're going to be left with y prime equals negative 8x to the 7 minus 4y minus 20 divided by 4x. And since we had this problem, we can actually factor out a 4. So I'm going to continue this problem this way. I'm going to draw a squiggly line so you know. So we're going to say y prime equals, we take a 4 out of each term on the top, which is this 8, 4, and this 20, we're going to be left with this 4 times 2 gives us 8. And there's a negative in front. Minus y, because 4 times y is negative 4. Minus 5. All of this divided by x. And just to make things simple, I'm going to bring this 4 out here. We're just going to cross it off. So our final answer, I'm going to write it in a different color actually. Our final answer is going to come out as y prime equals negative 2x to the 7 minus y minus 5 all over x. You could also factor these negative signs out in the numerator, and you could also end up with this. Just depending on how your instructor or teacher wants it, you would end up with negative 2x to the 7 plus y plus 5 all over x. Either of these answers works, so it's up to you. And like I mentioned in the past, the goal is to continuously update content, release new problems, calculus-based, algebra-based, trigonometry-based. So that way if you ever get stuck, you do have a resource available to you to find the correct solutions to some tougher problems. But yeah, this is it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for showing up, everybody, and take care.